Hi, I think I am live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'll just give it a couple of minutes to allow you all to come in. So I'm filming this afternoon from the Yoga Pilates Place and Injury Clinic Glasgow over in Kinning Park. So behind me here are, you can see, this is the Reformer Studio at Kinning Park, and we have a one-to-one facility over in the West End of Glasgow as well. So I'm on today to talk about the effect that forward head posture can have on your health, and primarily this afternoon I'm going to be looking at how forward head posture can restrict your lung capacity and how you're breathing, so effectively influence your respiratory function. And most of us, when we think about forward head posture, we're maybe thinking about it from an aesthetical point of view and not really relating to the effects that it can have on our general health and well-being as well. So, and I'll stick to the research paper, some of the research papers that I've taken a lot of this information from. So I'm not just giving you general facts here. This is proper research that's been done. So if you think anybody that you know would be interested in finding out more about what are the effects of forward head posture and how to correct forward head posture, then please do share this information with them, share this video, and hopefully it will give them some vital information, maybe answer some of the burning questions that they may have, and relate maybe some health conditions that they may think is unrelated, and show them some ways that they can address it right away. So what is forward head posture? So unfortunately, with our lifestyles nowadays, we tend to certainly sitting a lot more than we used to. You may have heard the term "sitting is the new smoking," and what happens is that as we're using screens, as we're using our mobile phones a lot more, especially millennials, we are bringing our head forwards. So what happens is that instead, if I show you here, so instead of our head and our head being in line in our body, what happens is we come forward. So I don't know if you can see the effect of that. And primary muscle here, your sternocleidomastoid, becomes weak and shorter. So that's the kind of primary muscle that has been shown to be the biggest influencer for the forward head posture. So it's certainly a muscle that we want to be working. Now, forward head posture, yes, it looks unattractive. You can end up with that kind of fatty neck, lumpy syndrome at the back as well, around about that C7 area. And you probably notice that when you look at people's posture. You may have noticed that kind of lumpiness in somebody's upper back area. And it's not very attractive, but there's far more to it than just the aesthetics. So the research paper, I'll pop the link up on this video as well for you. And if you have any questions about how this can maybe help you, or any questions on really posture in general, I'm more than happy to answer those questions. So please, I'm here. Robert, I can see, has commented saying, chiropractor took an x-ray and showed me my front head posture 30 millimeters, as I remember. Yes. So I know Robert's got a job where he's at a desk a lot of the day. What happens is we really get very task orientated in what we're doing, and we're absorbed in it, and we end up here. And I know that a lot of people are aware of the implications of the sitting for long periods of times, but it really does go far deeper than just your workplace ergonomics. Because even something is thinking, yeah, I'm going to get a standing desk. Well, how is your standing posture? And you could very well just have really terrible posture standing as you do sitting. So it really is about you taking some responsibility for your own health and understanding what it's doing to your health. So forward head posture, this research, basically the author evaluated the effect of forward head posture as it relates to the functional respiratory capacity, so it's functional respiration. It was concluded that forward head posture can add up to 30 pounds of abnormal leverage on the spine, and also reducing the lung capacity by as much as 30%. Okay, so amuse me. As you're all here or watching this in replay, I want you to do something. I want you to sit in a forward head posture and slouch forward. So I want you to do that. I want you to just slouch yourself forward, go into a forward head posture, and I want you to try this. I want you to try and take a big, quick, deep breath in that back posture. So take a big, deep breath in, and then breathe out. Okay? And now I want you to sit up tall, bring your head back, shoulders back and down. Take a big deep breath in, and then breathe out. And what you'll notice from doing that is that when you're upright, when you're able to use your postural breathing muscles, you're able to get the air in more freely than you are when you're in this forward head posture. So even just something as simple as that shows you how, when you're sitting in a poor posture, how you are compromising your breath. So this research paper has managed to put a figure on it where they have concluded that it can reduce your lung capacity by as much as 30%. Now you might be thinking, okay, so what? Okay, who cares? What does it matter? I'm still fine, I'm still breathing. But are you really? What kind of side effects may you be getting? A lot of people who have problems with their posture, forward head posture, may be experiencing, you might not have all of these things, but I want you to think, do any of these things resonate with you? Sleeping patterns disrupted, brain fog, lack of concentration, short-tempered, focus, being able to function at that kind of true full capacity, being able to utilize your brain as well as you would expect to, that kind of brain fog, lack of energy, lack of motivation. It's been proven that when you are in this forward head posture, that how you use your brain massively differs. One of the big things that, as we look at evolution, that differentiates us, our species, humans, from our closest apes is the fact that we're bipedal, the fact that we walk on two legs, the fact that our brain has developed, that we use less of that reptilian brain and more of our brain and more of that grey matter in your brain. And when we bring our head forwards and we're effectively regressing from posture, from an evolution point of view, what happens is, and it's scientifically proven, that we're using much more of what's called our reptilian brain, so the brain stem, so that fight or flight type part of your brain. So much more animalistic. So you're not using your brain in as an effective way. So actually, from an evolution point of view, we are for the first time regressing back. So the side effects of that are short-tempered, aggression, sleeping patterns disrupted, irrational behaviour, possibly tension, headaches, obviously tension around the neck and things like that as well. But even at that, utilising your brain function, you're not able to utilise your brain as much as someone who's up bipedal, using their posture, standing upright. But even at that fundamental level of breath, that we're reducing that lung capacity by 30% in that forward head posture. Think about what that does at that physiological level of all the other systems in your body. It's also proven that you may have heard of power posture. So by standing upright, so if you always, you'll get like keynote speakers and things will always do their power posture and their breathing exercises before they go on stage. This is not some woo-woo thing. This is scientifically proven that standing in power posture for 2 minutes a day will massively reduce your cortisol levels and increase your testosterone levels. So a lot of people who are suffering from fatigue, suffering from weight gain, their hormone balances, generally they're producing more cortisol, they're in that more fight or flight, more stressed hormone production than those that have better posture, that are standing upright, that are it's been proven that you'll produce more testosterone. So at that endocrine, at that level, we can see the importance of posture. So I think I've kind of told you, why you want to fix this. Even if you're just thinking about the aesthetics, really get this sorted, because it's all very well when you're young and your spine is still supple, is still able to move, it's still able to be corrected. But if this goes on and you don't fix your posture, you don't fix your forward head posture, you can end up with all sorts of pathologies. And it would be crass of me to say definite things that would happen, but the types of things that can happen are bone spur development, more bone ossification, osteoarthritis, obviously as we get older, and we become unable to really affect and correct the structure of the bone. Remember, your bone is a living thing. It's always changing, it's always growing. So if you're neglecting and not looking after it, not nourishing it, then it's going to come back and bite you in the backside. So how do we fix it? So it's all very well that you may have it. How do we fix it? Well, the first thing that we want to do is knowledge is power. So yes, you can get a screening, you can know how much weight. One of the things that we do regularly here at the Injury Clinic Glasgow and Yoga Pilates place is we do posture screenings. And really these screenings are there to give you a starting point, because as I said, knowledge is power. You may be getting some symptoms, you may just be getting like achiness, it may just be tension, headaches, migraines, maybe your sleeping patterns are disrupted, maybe just grumpy, lack of concentration, brain fog, all of these things, and you put them off to other things. We're great at ignoring the signs and not really appreciating how much this is related to your health. So one of the things that we do is we do these screenings purely for a patient education point of view, because it's very easy for us to just do a posture screening, start looking at someone's posture, looking at how they walk, and we get a good indication of where the problems are. It screams at us. But sometimes you need to have a kind of almost like a slap in the face to show you what it is we're seeing. And that's what the posture screening does. You can see with your own two eyes, you're gridded out, you see your plumb line, you see where you are, and you can see exactly where your distortions are. And knowledge is power, because we then can help you correct that. And we use many tools to correct it. There isn't a one size fits all. There are many things that we've done. So whether that's soft tissue work, whether that's correctional exercises, it's strengthening up the right muscles and stretching out the tight muscles. Because what happens is that it's not just your head's forwards and it's just a case of, all right, well, I just need to pull it back. If only it was that easy. You've spent how many years in your forward head posture, so your structure surrounding that soft tissue surrounding that has adapted. So we have to bring it into the correct position, and that doesn't happen overnight, and you can't force it. So some of the tools we use, yes, are massage if appropriate. Yes, there will be postural correction in terms of strengthening up some of the muscles. And yes, we use some of these tools. We use Pilates as a tool for us, as is massage, as our home exercises, as our postural correction reminders. Because it doesn't matter how much we give you these tools, you have got to use them. And if you don't use them, then we're never going to fix this. You will never fix this problem. You've got to change the habits. We've got to change these, looking at how you're sleeping, looking at your workspace, looking at how you drive or sit or whatever you're doing, like taking your whole life approach and starting to look at why your posture is as it is, why you are as you are, because you're the product of your lifestyles. Don't ever tell me this is genetics. Oh, my granny had this. I'm like, genetics play 5%. That's it. 5%, 95% of how you present is your lifestyle choices. And there is no chiropractor, there's no osteopath, there is no physiotherapist, there is no Pilates teacher, massage therapist that can fix you with a magic pill or a magic massage or a magic class. It doesn't exist. You will only be disappointed. You have got to, one, knowledge is power, know what's going on with your body and get the right instruction, the right course of plan for you and work at it. If you don't do what you're told, then it doesn't matter. If you came and did postural correction exercises, whether that's Pilates, whether that's massage, whatever, a combination of both would be better. But if you're only, even if you did that every single day, right, think about this. Every single day you came and you did your postural correction, you were doing your things, but then you didn't change anything else. You still maybe slept the same way. I don't know what your bed situation's like, but you had all the same habits. It's not going to work, okay? Because that 1 hour a day is not going to compensate for the 23 other hours of that day. You see? So there has to be this link with both. So knowledge is power. That's the first thing. Get a screening, or, you know, if you can't get to a screening, if you're nowhere near us, then, you know, ask someone who, you know, your loved one, that can maybe just look at your posture to see what can they see, and maybe take some pictures of you and have a look. Okay, maybe that's something we can do. We can maybe get something where you can send us your pictures and we can analyse them for you. So knowledge is power, knowing what's wrong, because what generally happens is people will pull their heads back. So there's an exercise, I call it the chicken head. It's not called chicken head. I actually don't know what it's called, but basically where we are starting to strengthen up these muscles, we put this back in. So this would be one of the first things we'd probably have you do, to just start to strengthen and stretch. But what generally happens when people do that is that they've got tightness and distortions elsewhere in their body. So maybe their upper back, around the rib cage, the spine. And what happens is they end up, they stand up, moving and affecting all of this area as a result. So it's not just quite as simple as that. But what we could start doing, that is, if we've got this forward head posture, then this area here will generally be tight. Okay, very generally speaking, I'm being very crude here, but to give you something to go away with, because I want to give you some golden nuggets to take away. The first thing I would want to do is I would want to be stretching through the pectorals, so the front of your chest. So any movements that are going to be opening your chest up are your friend. So what drives me crazy is that we get people in, they drive to work, they go to their desktop, they sit all day. They maybe go to the gym, they go to a spin class, or they go cycling, or you've seen the pattern here. So they're exercising, which is great. And I'm not dissing spin classes because I love spin classes, but for the vast majority of people, they're sitting on their ass all day. The last thing I want to give you is something that is encouraging a flexor dominant posture again, because you've been in that flexor dominant posture all day. The last place I want you to be is in this flexor dominant posture when you're exercising as well. Now, I'm not saying you can't cycle, I'm not saying you can't just spin class, of course you can, but understand what you're doing and what you're trying to correct. Things that are your friend when you're correcting this forward head posture are things where you're going to be pulling backwards. So rowing, opening up, stretching. You know, yoga and Pilates is of course great for that, because we very much are looking at the body as a whole. We're moving the spine through all its planes of motion. We're getting extension into your spine, because there's never enough extension in our spine. There's far too much flexion going on. So that would be the first thing I would give to you, is to try and open up the chest. So little stretches where you can place your hands on your lower back and just open up and look up. So this would definitely be a starting point. Anything where you're opening up. There are loads and loads and loads of exercises that can help you with that. But anything where you're going to the gym, the rowing machines are getting the concept to rower, really good exercise. Anything where you are pulling backwards, opening your chest, getting extension, swans, lifting and opening up. Please, if you've got any pathologies, if you have back pain, if you have slipped disc or any other issues, please make sure you get proper advice and help before you do silly things, okay, and end up making yourself worse. So always get proper help and advice. But if you're generally able-bodied, this is where definitely you would want to start. So especially if you're just sitting at your desk right now watching this, you know, just think to yourself, get up off your seat, stand the hell up, and just even opening up. Do this regularly, at least once an hour, okay? You need to be up. So that would be the first thing. Now, Your levator scapular sternocleidomastoid would be part of where I would want to spend some time. So even just massaging in this area, so from your collarbone up to here, even just massaging the area. And you could even just apply some pressure to the collarbone and then just ease your head away from it, and you will feel how tight it is. And you could just move the head subtly, just a little stretch. Okay. And that may feel quite tight and uncomfortable for some people. So you're just kind of pulling that down, pinning it in place, and then just moving your head side to side. These are things you could easily do at your desk. Okay. Even if you just took your head side to side and be gentle with it. Don't be yanking your head over. Be careful. Drawing your shoulders down, rolling your shoulders backwards. These types of things are all going to be a good starting point. Bringing the head forwards and backwards, of course, starting to strengthen up those posterior muscles. Okay. And a really good one. Now, there is such a thing as a head posture corrector. So a forward head posture corrector is basically, I don't have one here. I think you can order them off some physio websites. But watch this space. I'm going to get them in because they are very, very good. Basically, if you imagine like a headband that has weights at the front and it's like Velcro. And wearing that for 20 minutes a day. Now, I wouldn't recommend wearing it to work, but what that will do will start to strengthen and get the, you will notice a massive difference in the building the musculature. Obviously, you still have to be doing the stretches and things as well, because we can't just focus on the strength part, because there's a big there's a lot of tightness. If you've got forward head posture, it's something you've had for a while, then you're going to have tightness in your body as well. So there are, I think it's called posture correction headbands. And if you just imagine a Velcro headband, and there's slots for little weights that go in, and the weights go to the front, okay, and it forces you to pull back, so it strengthens all of this. So let's recap on some simple desk exercises that you can do, that you can take away. Please, if you've got any neck pathologies or any anything going on, always get medical help. Don't do silly things. Don't do anything that would damage you further. So always get proper help. So the first thing would be your chicken head, forwards and backwards. Gives you a nice double chin. It's always lovely. And the next thing we'd want to do is just releasing through the sternocleidomastoid, so this big muscle here. So we could even just get behind here and just massage it, okay? Just rub. You don't need to have a degree in anatomy, okay? Just, you'll feel it. Just get down. Come down and onto the clavicle, so your collarbone, and just easing away, just doing a little bit of self-massage, okay? Easing it out. And you could even just take your head gently side to side, drawing your shoulders down. And again, to finish, anything that opens up your chest, so anything that's going to encourage pulling backwards. So I'm going to hold here. There are many variations to this, but so this is a very crude video, just to show you immediate things that you can do right now that are not going to get you hot and sweaty. You don't need to leave your desk. You don't need to do anything weird and wonderful. You don't need any equipment. Okay, obviously I've spoken about the head posture one. If you really are serious about creating head posture, it's worth that investment. So I'll leave it there. Hopefully that's maybe answered some of your questions about the importance of correcting forward hip posture. I really can't stress the importance of posture enough. My plan is to, like I've done here, really pick out and always back up what I'm talking about with research papers, so that there's some substance to it. It's not just me talking rubbish at you. There's always the backing of research there. I will put up the research paper. I've read quite a few, but I'll put up the links so that you can, if you're interested, go out and check that out as well, and see the type of study that was done. There's lots of studies on the effects of posture. Honestly, take the time, especially if you're watching this and you're young. invest in your posture, invest in your health. Your health is the most valuable thing that you have. It really is, and we tend not to put value on our health. Look after yourself, because there are no pills, there are no quick fixes, there is no trading your body in for a new one. If you don't look after it, that is it. So, yeah, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. I don't think there's been any questions thus far. I'll just double check on this Facebook. I'll always try and, hey Jack, hey, I can see there's a few of you there. Thanks, and Jack's there. Thanks Jack, Jack's physio from Australia. Thanks for the likes, guys. That's lovely of you. Hey Aisha, Jack, George, Katerina, Jane, Vicky, hi everybody. I hope you've got some value from that. And that's the idea behind these, is I want to give you as much value as possible. And hopefully you've got some ideas of things, simple things that you can do from anywhere, sitting at your desk. That's the idea. So I'll sign out now, not keep you any longer. And remember, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And see you soon.